Oh, and this is a trap chest. So this is actually going to blow up. Absolutely everything just blew up. Totally decimated. Hello recruits, Cosmic Crow MC here. Today I am in Minecraft for something that I have not done in a very long time, and I'm actually going to be doing a mod showcase. I'm kind of in the mood to just do something that, you know, classic Minecraft YouTubers did all the time. I want to bring back some sort of, you know, renaissance on my channel, and I think the best way to do that would be to do a mod review. So today, as you may have seen by the title, we're going to be doing the Roguelike Dungeons mod for Minecraft 1.12.2. Now, if you hear some little birds chirping in the background, don't worry, that's not part of this mod. That's actually a different mod called Dynamic Surroundings. Now, this mod is not required at all to enjoy Roguelike Dungeons. I just think it enhances the experience, and I think it is recommended on the CurseForge mod page, which will be linked into the description for anyone who would like to give this mod a try for themselves. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and find one of these pesky dungeons. Oh, okay, so it seems that over there's some sort of brick house. Don't know exactly what it is yet, but let's go ahead and get a closer look. Okay, so here we are at the entrance to this sort of brick house. Well, let's go ahead and check inside. See, we got a nice furnace. Got a crafting bench. We got some cake. We got a stairwell. Alright. This will actually be important later on. This will be important later on, but we'll go ahead and go upstairs first. So here we have a bed, and we have a chest with some assorted items. Alright, alright. That's a pretty good diamond shovel. And then here we have some armor. Now, this armor will usually not spawn in these houses. I actually put this here, but that is because it is very important. Because, as you are about to see, beneath this house are some roguelike dungeons, just to quote the name of the mod itself. Again, I highly recommend having something when you're going down in here, because there are lots and lots of mob spawners. And if we actually go back upstairs, you can get to one of these special books called Statistics. Open it up and it will tell you all the stats of the dungeon below. See, it says 45,000 stone brick, 17,000 cobblestone, almost 600 logs, lots of iron bars, lots of chests, lots of mob spawners, and lots of TNT. So you may also want a pickaxe for these. And when I say may, I mean you definitely want a pickaxe. Ignore all these other pages with mod stuff. That's just part of this mod pack I'm playing right now. Or making, I should say. It doesn't matter. Just know that you need a pickaxe. So let's go ahead and head down into here. Let's also get some torches, because we're going to need a lot of these. And you can hear that as I go down, you're hearing these nice footstep sounds. And these are because of dynamic surroundings, and I'm not 100% sure. But I think that dynamic surroundings is actually fully compatible with this mod, and some of its code is actually built around this mod. Because it seems that when you go down to these dungeons, the sound effects really get good. But you'll usually come to one of these foyers, and it's at, let's see, Y50. Now, most of these little levels are at multiples of 10 along the Y-axis, so keep that in mind. For the sake of this video, I'll be in creative mode, but normally you'll be in survival, and it's going to be pretty tough, because the further down you go, the tougher these dungeons get, but the better the loot gets. Now, a lot of the time, pretty much all the time actually, these dungeons will run through caves. So there'll be little kind of crumbly spots that remedy this. And as you can see, we have another staircase right here. This will go down to the second level of this dungeon. But, oh, and there's some more levels of the dungeon down there. But I want to go ahead and focus on this first level for now. We have a chest right here. It has some pretty basic stuff. low-level enchanting books, some food, some sticks, rotten flesh, you know, just pretty normal stuff. Here we have some zombies, and these spawners actually spawn zombies, skeletons, etc. with some pretty good stuff. See, they have shields, they have dyed leather armor, shovels for whatever reason. So you'll definitely want to bring a pickaxe to break these. And if you look in here, you have some leather armor, you have a potion of strength, which is actually pretty good, and some other useless junk. So that's it for this tunnel. We can always, of course, explore around and we'll find different things. For example, we can just go behind here instead. We have this little room here, and I actually like these rooms because they have anvils, which are pretty hard to get. They take a lot of iron. But they also have these, and they usually have one of these tempered blades in them. And they're just normal blades, but with Unbreaking 3 and Mending, and apparently they're also highly durable. So that's always nice to get. And these chests, I don't think they have anything in them. I think they're just like smelting farms for decoration. But we can continue going down. And I'm just kind of exploring this place. There'll be little pieces of gravel here and there, just as decoration. There's this skeleton, but of course that one's not from a spawner, that one's natural. You have little lights, which is interesting. And it doesn't seem there's much. If you're wondering what this clanky noise is, that's just my armor. Again, that's dynamic sounds, which you don't need, but I feel it really makes this mod a whole lot more fun. And, well, creepy in some cases. That's it for this tunnel. Let's go ahead and run back down here. Again, I recommend at least starting with this kind of armor, because the difficulty of these dungeons ramps up really, really fast. And so having a decent suit of armor is pretty much necessary. So yeah, we had an enchanted iron helmet in there, pretty good, but nothing too amazing. Just, oh no, that's not even iron, that's just leather. And here we have another dead end. So that's about it for this first layer. Let's go ahead and continue to the staircase that we found earlier, because that will bring us to the second, more difficult, but better layer of this entire dungeon. Alright, so you'll see all these iron bars on the sides. Those are always there if there are holes in the wall. And so since there's a ravine, there's lots of iron bars. But we'll keep walking. As you can see, the decor is a bit more comprised of stone. The chests are placed differently, and it seems that the loot is a little better. Just a tiny bit. We can look here, see we got potion of speed, a nice chainmail piece of armor, and here we have this giant pit that we could fall into. And at this level, it's just a normal pit. You either fall into it or you don't. But as you get deeper, you'll see it gets worse. Okay, so this is the third layer. Nice. Go in here, we'll find a jukebox. That's one of the rooms. Aha. So, here, we have zombies. And as you can see, this one actually has an iron helmet. This one has chainmail boots. And let's see, a stone axe. But typically, the further you go down, the more dangerous these monsters will get. They'll have way more stuff. And way better stuff as well. We'll go ahead and continue just kind of browsing around. There shouldn't be too much throughout here. Okay, now we hit a dead end. There are a lot of these long corridors down here. Oh, we have a chest. Some enchanted chain boots, and another enchanted book, along with a healing potion. See here, we got, ooh, a disc. Those can be rare. And we have some more boots. More spawners. Yeah, the further down you go, the more spawners you'll find. And, more gravel, and presumably more chests somewhere. But yeah, again, this will continue on for a while. There are tons of different rooms and corridors. These things are huge, which is surprising because they're also quite common, as I'll show you in just a bit. But let's take it one step at a time. Let's actually go ahead and continue down further to the third layer. Now this is where things start getting real. The zombies and skeletons get tough, See, he already has an enchanted diamond chestplate along with some chainmail armor, which is pretty powerful. Okay, we have some nice sound effects from dynamic, whatever, the dynamic sound, dynamic environment, I think. Dynamic surroundings. But if we look in the spawner, it looks like that little guy has a diamond chestplate. So yeah, definitely, these spawners are pretty powerful. And the decor changed again. It's comprised of completely stone this time. We have this little area over here. Ooh. Looks like this actually intersects with a mine shaft. That's pretty cool. Oh, and we're back on second layer. Let's go here. Back to the third layer. Oh, we have skeletons. And they're pretty beefy skeletons. I mean, look at this guy. He's got enchanted iron gear, normal iron gear, and chainmail chestplate. But yeah, it doesn't look like we're finding as much loot on this layer. But here we have found the stairwell to the fourth layer. Let's actually look in these chests to see what they have to offer. And ooh. So, you see all this TNT. If you remember from the stats book, the TNT was listed as something... Oh, and this is a trap chest. So this is actually going to blow up. Absolutely everything just blew up. Totally decimated. But that's not the end of it. That's not the end. Because that was the creeper spawner in there. If you're going in there in survival, chances are you're going to make a creeper explode, and everything in there is going to go completely. So even if you manage to open a chest without it being trapped, a creeper is probably going to ruin your fun. So you want to be very careful when you're on that level, because there are lots of those trapped TNT rooms. See, now we're getting into some... Ooh, okay, here we go. So here we have a little nether looking room. And this will lead down to the deepest layer of the dungeon, and by far the most dangerous. Down here, monsters will typically have diamond armor and very powerful tools. So you have this wither skeleton, you have this skeleton, diamond helmet, and iron and everything else. You can see all these spawners lining the walls. Here we have a fairly open corridor with lots of paths branching out. It looks super spooky, you know it's dangerous. This room is kind of what I like to call the hub, because there are a ton of spawners in here. But there's also a ton of loot. If we go in here, there's emeralds, we got power 4 book. We have punch 2, golden carrot, some pretty good leather pants, despite the fact that they're just leather pants. Okay, leather tunic, torches, healing potion, speed potion. We have a sharpness 3 diamond sword and lure 3 book. Lots and lots of very good enchanted books. Smite 5, protection 4, very good. Restoration 3, lots of iron. So yeah, there's lots of good stuff in these types of rooms, but they're filled with monsters and spawners. It gets hectic quick. The volume's already pretty loud, so I'm gonna get out of there. And even if you continue, you'll find lots of these spawners, and a lot of them are actually hidden behind blocks sometimes. So you always have to watch out for those. Let me try to find a better example. You have more spawners here. This is a normal mine shaft, but there's a chest off to the side. I accidentally broke it, but you can see it has really good stuff. Let's get out of here. More spawners. So, as you progress through these dungeons, you will get better and better loot. But, to get to this layer, I'd strongly recommend getting some really powerful armor. Because you probably won't be able to get enough good loot within the dungeon on its own if you start with, say, the iron armor I suggested. So if you want to go all the way to the bottom, I strongly recommend diamond armor, because these are some pretty powerful foes. Okay, so more mine shaft shenanigans over there. Got some normal skeletons here. We have all of these. Those are some really good golden boots. And a really good spade. Or shovel, or whatever. Some really powerful enemies though, so always be careful for those. I hear some blazes somewhere, so that's interesting. Oh, we have one of these rooms, and up here is is a spawner, and this is where the blazes spawn. And there's another one of those rooms right here. So yeah, as you can see, this is very, very dangerous stuff in here. Very powerful enemies, super hard work, so you better have some really good supplies, weapons, armor, whatever, if you want to go exploring the bottommost layer of one of these dungeons. But anyway, now that we're done with this first dungeon, I want to show off some of the other structures you can find that will also have these gigantic dungeons underneath them. If we go this way, we can find this little structure right here, this nice tower. It looks a bit abandoned and withered. Now, this dungeon over here has nothing to do with that, so don't think that if you see a dungeon, you're going to see one of these. That's actually just a coincidence. But if we go down underground, we can see that this is also quite a giant dungeon. And here, we have an interesting little room, and it actually launches all these fireworks, which I think is really cool. A nice little secret, if you will, and it's behind this door right here. And again, I just think that's really interesting. Now here, we have another one of these dungeon structures, and funny enough, another one of these villages. I mean, again, they have nothing to do with each other. These are just pure odds. I actually think it's quite hilarious how this happened twice in one world. But hey, it's cool. I think it's pretty neat. But we have those nice dynamic surroundings effects going on with my breath, and you can hear the winds in the mountains. Again, dynamic surroundings is not required for this mod, but it is highly recommended. If we go down, we can see that we actually have a different sort of color scheme. And if you look around, you may see... Hold on. You may see some of these colored things like beds. And if you look in the right place, some of these color schemes of purple and blue and white and orange, I think. And they actually do match the colors of these windows. So some of these dungeons have special things on top that relate to what's on bottom, and I think that's very cool. And it looks like in this dungeon there may not be... Oh wait, no, never mind, there is. There is this dangerous bottom layer. I just couldn't see it. So yeah, again, most of these dungeons have this bottom layer. Occasionally, and very rarely, they won't have this super dangerous bottom layer, but I definitely wouldn't count on it. And if we go back over here, we have two things. First, we have this diamond block, and these diamond and gold blocks spawn very rarely. They can spawn in these, but don't count on it. They are very nice when you find them, but again, you have these super dangerous mobs that are spawning all over the place, so getting them is going to be a hassle. But here, we have a nice pit of water, and if we fly up, we can actually see that there are these just holes that you can easily fall into. And the further you go down, the worse those holes get, because towards the top, it'll just be a normal hole, but as you go further down, things like pistons will try to push you in if you get too close. So definitely be careful the further you go down in one of these dungeons. Alright, so this is going to be the last one I show you guys. This one is also quite close to a village, so I'm going to shut up about the whole not being next to villages thing. I think there is a pattern, and you can hear the dynamic surroundings mod in action. It's pretty loud, but whatever. We'll go ahead and look at this because I actually really like the design for the desert one. If we go underground, it actually also has some desert-themed walls. So we have this nice sandstone going on. If we go deeper, we have good use of the red sandstone. If we go even deeper, we have this nice end brick and checker pattern. If we go deeper yet again, we should have the nether looking area that almost all the dungeons have at the very bottom. So again, same thing, just in a different biome. I think it's really cool, and it does add a very nice sense of variety to this mod. Alright guys, so that is going to be it for the Roguelike Dungeons mod, and I suppose a Dynamic Surroundings one. if you really want to get this mod, don't worry, I will have the link in the description for you all to enjoy. These are some pretty fun dungeons to explore, but again, they're also quite dangerous, especially if you go 2 or 3 layers down, so I'd recommend getting some very tough armor as you go in. But it's a ton of fun to add these to your world. They really enhance your Minecraft experience, and it's an easy way to get some really good loot as long as you're careful. But if you enjoyed the video itself, I'd appreciate it a lot if you'd go ahead and smash, obliterate, whatever that subscribe button for more content. It means so much to me because I really want to see this channel grow and prosper. But until the next video, goodbye, recruits.